y'all. I need some help with this. Come on. Ooh, it's been a day. I'm eating my lunch, my leftovers from yesterday. I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it home to eat and to talk to y'all, but the weather allowed me to drive home, so I'm home. So I'm going to come out here and talk to y'all for a little while, eat my lunch, my leftovers from yesterday. Um, I need some help with a situation. Now, we're not in the medical field, most of us, that deal with mental health or depression, anxiety, whatever. But we've all been around people who have it. And maybe y'all might have some solutions to the problem. Hey, Aid, how you doing? Good morning. Welcome to Chatting with Ms.V. Hey, Elaine. It's raining in Texas, too? Yes, ma'am. Sure is. Been raining all night, all day, and the forecast for the week is that it will rain all week long. So maybe that's a good thing. It'll rain and we'll get past the bad weather because next week we're off from school and it's Thanksgiving week and maybe we'll have a nice Thanksgiving. And especially for those who are traveling. Hey, y'all glad you made it in. Stay in my lane is in the building this morning. Hey. Just saw the notification where I'm on live, so more people will be coming in. But I don't tend to wait around because I only have an hour that I take to come out and talk to y'all. But this is what's disturbing me this morning. All of y'all know I work with special needs children. And I've been talking to y'all about this little fella. We're going to call him M, okay, to protect him. So M has been going through a lot of changes here in the last 2 weeks. I've seen a big change in his behavior. So he got on the bus this morning, but before he got on the bus, we got there early. So I told the bus driver, I said, don't leave him because we're early. Let's sit here 5 minutes and wait on him. So we did. But when he came out the house this morning, it was raining. He had no raincoat on. He had no umbrella. He had nothing to protect him against the elements of the weather. Yes, I'm in Texas. I'm right outside of Houston. You live in San Antonio? Okay, I have relatives in San Antonio. I try to go there at least once a year. Hey, loving me, Tracy, how you doing? So back to M. He really disturbed me this morning, y'all, when we pulled up to pick him up. He came out the house fighting his grandmother. Now, he lives with his grandmother. His mother's out of town working. I've never met her. I've talked to her on the phone before about his behavior on the bus, but I've never met her. The grandmother's the sweetest little person you ever could meet, and she is struggling with this child. He's a junior high student, so let's just say he's 12, 13, maybe 14, because he's special needs, so it could be a little bit delayed. Most beautiful kid. He's a good looking kid, okay? He's Hispanic. Very nice looking kid. But his behavior has gone haywire. So he came out of the house this morning fighting his grandmother. So when I looked and I saw him coming off the porch and he was going at her. And I was like, oh no, open the door. You know, Ms.V, she finna go do what she gotta do, okay? I might get the knocked out of me, but I couldn't sit back and let that boy beat up on that little old lady. That lady looked like she well off into her getting close to 80 years old, mid 70s to 80s. Oh no, So right as she was opening the door, she's steady trying to hold him back, and he's coming after her. You know they're very strong kids, okay? Where they lose one thing, they get strong in another. So their strength is great. So I told Miss Diana, I said, oh no, open the door. So right as opened the door, they got to the door. And I hollered at him. I was like, stop. What are you doing? And it's like he snapped. And I said, come on, boy, get on the bus. Leave your grandmother alone. Why are you doing that? And he just settled down just like that. So then when he got on, I told him, I said, go on back in the house. Go get yourself together because it looked like he been giving you holy hell this morning. And so when he got on the bus, I was prepared for holy hell, okay? So he started out talking. He's the one that's been talking to these people in his head. And when we talked to the teacher last week, he's the same one that the teacher said he watches movies and he's talking to the people in the movies. Well, he just woke up, so he hadn't watched no movie this morning. So if he talking to the people in the movies, it must have been from last week, okay? I'm at a point now where I'm going to sit down this afternoon and I'm going to call his mother because I see him just slipping away from reality. I mean, he's really slipping away from us completely. He's talking to these demons in his head, and this morning it was like, leave me alone, go away, don't bother me. And I'm like, they're gone. Whoever it is, they're gone. You're here with us now. You're here with us. And he would settle down for a few minutes and it'd start right back up again. And I was like, oh my God. He was cursing this morning. Damn it. He is really fighting these people. And in his mind, he thinks they are real. So he fought all the way through school. So I went up there when we got to the red light and I sit on the side of him and I told him, I said, talk to me. Please tell me what's wrong. Who's fighting you? Where did they come from? Do you know them? And he was like, they're after me. They're after me. And I'm like, who's after you? I'm here with you. And I put my arms around him. I'm like, you don't have to go through this alone. I'm here for you. Talk to me. Where are they? So I can call the police or somebody to come get them. And he looked and he was like, they're going to come get me too. I was like, no. They're going to come get the bad person that's bothering you. Y'all, I wanted to just sit there and cry because it just hurts to see him going through all of these changes. And it's at a point now where he needs to be reevaluated again. And if he doesn't get help quick, I just don't know what's going to happen to him. And his grandmother doesn't speak English, so it's hard to communicate with her. She knows what's going on, but this is an old person that's with him. So I just told Miss Diane, I said, a mother needs to know whatever is going on. She needs to step up to the plate now because the school is missing it. I don't know if he does the same thing in the school. Or is it just on the bus? What's really going on with this child? Oh my God, yes, you need to call the mother, Sissy, please. I am. I'm going to call her this afternoon. I didn't want to call her early this morning and upset her because I knew he was going to school. And I think in most of those classes only have 3 to 4 students in them. That's all you can work with at one time. Some of them are really bad off. And then when they go to the doctor and they get new medication or whatever, they calm down. The one who was giving me hell last week, she's calmed down to the point this morning, I gave her a blanket and she hugged the blanket. And before I knew it, she had fallen over to sleep. So I didn't have no problems with her. The one that comes in fighting everybody on the bus in the morning, I have to catch her hands and bring her down the aisle to keep her from popping somebody. She's been good. So I don't know if it's time for him to go get an evaluation or get his medicine checked. I don't know what's going on, but I will call the mama this afternoon because I cannot stand to see something happen to him. You grow, you get attached to these children. I've been with them now since I started in August, and I've been with them now since September, a couple of months. And I see them in the morning, or if they ride, some of them ride in the morning and in the evening, and some of them just ride in the morning. He only rides with us in the morning. So I see him every day, and he very rarely misses school. He was sick last week. He told me this morning when I was sitting there trying to comfort him, he says, I got to go to the dentist Wednesday. I said, oh, that's good. You're going to get what done to your teeth? He says, I'm just going to get them checked. And they're bothering me again. And I was like, oh my God, not again. So then I got to rest assured they're not on this bus. If they come on this bus, you know that broom I got back there that I sweep with on this bus, I'm going to hit them with that broom. They're not going to bother you. But that was my morning. Okay? You got to go in there with the right frame of mind. You got to go in there with a lot of patience. You got to go in there happy. I don't care if it's raining outside and you might not be in the best of mood. You better change it, because if you don't change it, they may change it for you like it did. Good morning, Mrs. Barber. I can't believe the school hasn't done anything. Not yet. The Dickinson school system is huge, so it's hard. Exactly. But they're in special needs classes. I don't know if this teacher had him last year or if he's new to her. But I will get a chance to talk to her this afternoon if I have to go to her classroom, just to let her know what's going on the bus and see what she says before I call the mother this afternoon. Because at some point, he's going to hurt somebody or himself. The bus driver had to tell him several times, because he's sitting up there towards the front, to settle down. He just started screaming to the top of his lungs. And I'm in the back and I'm like, settle down, because I got two that I have to watch back there. The rest of them that are in the middle, they're good. They don't even pay it any attention. They're used to it. So that's my only choice at this point, is because I would feel bad if something happens to him in the middle of the night, or, these grandparents are old. I don't know where his bedroom is in conjunction with where they sleep. I don't know nothing about that. All I know is right now he needs help. So another thing I thought about this morning is sleep. Sleep deprivation and diet when you're dealing with mental illness is crucial. It's crucial. Not getting enough sleep and you already off on the edge of depression, anxiety, psychosis, or whatever may be going wrong with you, it's very important that you sleep. It helps to heal the body, the brain, the organs, everything. So the effects of a lack of sleep affects your growth, your stress hormones, your immune system, your appetite, your breathing, your blood pressure, and your cardiovascular health. Now that seems like the easiest thing in the world to do, is go lay yourself down and go to sleep. It's amazing to me when people are always telling you what you need to do. They never mention you need to go get you some sleep. That's very crucial and very important to the body. They never tell you watch your diet. No, they tell you to go do this and go do that, which ain't got nothing to do with your mental health or your health, period. Hey, Sandra McHenry, how you doing? I'm so glad I was on the wake up list this morning. Lights mine. I'm going to let it shine. I know that's right, Sandra. I don't complain about nothing. The weather was bad this morning, but I said life is balanced, okay? Just like he send you sunshine, he send you rain. And without rain, the whole world would just perish. It wouldn't be no world. Blessings to you, Sandra. I'm used to really small towns where lots doesn't slip up. The towns I'm used to are really small. the teacher to teacher ratio is 10 to 1 or 15 to 1. So teachers catch everything. This is not a big town, but the school district is, because the school district has incorporated part of another city, Texas City, and a part of another city, which is League City. Okay? So the school district is huge, but these are special needs children. So your ratio to children is small. It's just that they have to see what's going on. I'm sure he hasn't been acting like this all year long, because he hasn't been acting like this on the bus all year long. Hold on just a minute. Elaine said, I worked with special needs, and the hardest part for me was that I got attached to them. You do. You get attached to them real easily if you really love children. And you feel bad when you can't help them. Exactly. That's so you know where I am this morning, Elaine. I did all I could do to comfort him and to keep him quiet and down, not to disturb the rest of the children and the bus drivers, but she could keep her eyes on the road. It's raining out there. The roads are slick. And I wanted her, like I told her, don't worry about him. I got him. You watch where you going so we can all get there safely and get back safely. And I just don't know at this point what they need to do, but I just know he need to get into a doctor and quit. So I'm going to do my best to get in touch with the mother, like I said, and let her know he needs help. Now, I ain't talking about next week. He need to get in this week somewhere. It was an old show. You said a name of where the house is a Spanish style home. The Ponderosa is where one of my students live. Not this one, another one. That's where grandma lives, the one that cooks for us. But that's a family there, and they can't around that child. They're there every evening. One of the family members is going to be out there to pick him up, whether it's the mother, one of the uncles, or the grandma. They're going to be out there. No problems with him. This one is a different child. He lives with the grandma, and the mother works out of town. Now, I don't know who else lives in the house. I only see the grandma. That's it. And she catching hell. Okay. Yes, Elaine, you get attached, but it's also a challenge because all you want to do is help and figure it out. That's where I am, stay in my lane, trying to figure it out. It's been on my mind all the way home. I was trying to figure it out, and it's like I don't have a choice but to talk to her and let her know exactly what happened. And if she wants to see it, the good thing about it is there are cameras on that bus. They can see it. She can see it. We can pull the camera. She can see it, and she can listen to it. That's the good thing about it. Hey, Sherry. Good morning. How you doing? So we're going through more mental illness now probably than ever before. Why do you think that today's kids have so many issues compared to kids of my generation growing up? I can never, ever remember anybody with ADHD, ADD, psychosis. We had kids that were mentally challenged, but they were well behaved in the classroom. There was no special ed. There was no special needs classes. They were in the same classes we were. They never gave a problem. But these kids are wild and they're out of control. They get animalistic tendencies when they go into whatever episode they going into. What changed? And have you noticed it's more boys than girls? I've noticed that. Amy, that's exactly correct. Never. Miss Baker said the kids today aren't eating real food. I think that is a big problem. All this eating out, this commercial food, not cooking at home, is too many preservatives in it. And it's too much sugar, it's too much everything that they don't need. So I think that's a good thing, and it's a part of the problem. What else do y'all think is the problem? Because I got another idea that's a part of the problem. And that's exactly correct. Okay, your kids today are not eating real food. Okay. I think when they took the belt out the classroom, and this new generation of parents, don't touch my child. You ain't touching him. You ain't teaching him. They ain't scared of nothing because you can't touch him. You ain't do nothing to him. Back in the day, them belts was in that classroom. Did nobody cut up. All this suspending them and sending them home. Sending them home to do what? Watch TV? Then you don't do no kind of what I'm trying to say. You don't look into the backgrounds of the teachers and stuff you put in these classrooms. A lot of these teachers are coming from other places where they may have been fired, may have had a problem, but you so short just because they passed the teacher certification, they in the classroom. There's a lot of problems in these schools. A lot of problems. It sure is. But we had the fear of God in us going to school and cutting up. First of all, you was going to get your ass tore up at school, and then go home and your parents was going to tear you up. That fear is not there anymore. They would tell you, call my mama. I don't care. She ain't going to do nothing. Well, why am I trying to do anything? That was on the long buses when I was on there. Flip the bird when they get off the bus, cuss on the bus, fight on the bus. And this is a product of your home that you sitting out there in the public. They got too much access to watching social media. Everything is said and done out here in front of them. So they think it's okay. Mama out there acting a fool, so why can't I? Those days of you telling a child, don't do what I do what I say, you better go sit down with that. Those days are over. They took God out of the classroom. You got that right. And it became a mess right after that, didn't it? The devil walked in. And he messing with these kids bad. Messing with their heads, okay? We start off every morning with him. And then the Pledge of Allegiance. Sang a little song, and then we got into them books. When nobody cutting up, if you were sick, you went to the nurse. You either came back or you went home. Didn't nobody go to no office. For what? It would have been bad news to go to an office back then. Ms. Baker said, the food of today is all GMO, sugar, preservatives, and hormones. Technology, huge problem. Exactly. Made things too convenient. Well, parents took less time to get in the kitchen and cook, but more time on the phone, gossiping, on social media. Instead of in the kitchen cooking a balanced meal for their children. They're not getting enough vegetables. A lot of them don't even eat vegetables. Because you don't eat vegetables at McDonald's unless it's lettuce and tomatoes on a hamburger. That's all they get. Most of them don't want it. They want meat, bread, ketchup, and mustard. Maybe a pickle. It's just, it's just sad. And it started in the 80s with the 80s mothers, and it has just trickled on down, and every generation it has gotten worse. I think you'll be surprised. Fruit helps ADHD. Certain kinds of fruit. My hubby searched that, then they don't need meds or be diagnosed. I'm not going to be surprised at anything that's natural, Myra, that's grown in the ground and eating natural. That's all the people had back in the day. They didn't have no processed foods, and they worked hard. They didn't have no medical care, and they lived a pretty good long life. Okay? They didn't have nothing to treat, nothing, but everything natural. So, no, I'm not going to be surprised behind that. I really feel like if we could get back to that, even if they had sweets or whatever, they were cooked in the home. You knew how much sugar you were putting in it. You knew how much flour you were putting in it. Wasn't no cake mix off the shelf. Wasn't no icing already made off the shelf. It was made at home. It had to be better for you. But now, everything is instant. We living in the age of the Jetsons. You know, I told y'all that was my favorite cartoon back in the day, futuristic stuff. Never even dreamed that I would live to see that age where the drones are here, the microwaves are here. All of this stuff has come to pass. That guy was really thinking way ahead, whoever wrote that show. Okay, and be correct. They took God out and they took the paddle out. Yes, the Pledge of Allegiance as well. Hey, Jean, good morning. How you doing? Come on in, join into the conversation. Myra, I studied that stuff. It's true. ADHD can be treated with proper diet. Everyone is so busy, they want everything fast. Exactly. A microwavable world. And it's killing us. It's killing us, and it's definitely killing our children. I even noticed in the classroom. Sometimes I go in to use the bathroom after they get off the bus. So they going into the cafeteria, and I have to pass by the cafeteria. Why are you serving them donuts and orange juice? Now, I thought when Michelle Obama was in there, she kind of changed up that lunch program so the kids would eat healthier. Oh, that's gone. This same school, I told y'all, my daughter graduated from that same school in 1999. That ain't been that long ago. Couple of decades, 2 decades, okay? When she was there, they had a dress code. So you didn't have problems with the fashion shows that go on. 20 years later, I'm back over there and I'm watching these kids come to school with shorts cut up to the yang. I mean, Daisy Duke ain't got nothing on them. And it's acceptable. Makeup in the high school, looking like you going to a hair show, a fantasy hair show. It's off the chain. If you can get probably your child to get through high school without getting in any trouble these days, you better pat yourself on the back. Yeah. And a lot of kids walking around there just depressed and out of it. They out of touch with reality. They have no clue. They living on medication. And you quick to take them to the doctor. Something wrong with them. It is. It's you. You the parent. You the problem. Miss Baker, okay, and yes, hubby is a teacher and has ADHD kids in his classroom. That's how we learned about it. You gotta study them kids. They're different. But I guess we pretty much saw the problem was they could be having a lack of sleep. Because they up all times of the night. You in your bedroom, they in their bedroom, they on the cell phones all time of the night. You don't know who they talking to. You don't know what they watching. They sleeping when they come out in the morning. They get a jolt of sugar first thing in the morning, so that lifts them up for about an hour, hour and a half. Then they sleep and they tired again from all that sugar. It's just, I don't know. It's out of control. How do you go back? How do you get them back into reality, the real world again? Yeah, I got my hands full. I feel like my money that I went over to U of H to study psychology, I never used it. Because I told you, I thought I wanted to go into this field until I got the clinicals and I was like, ain't no way. This is not for me. So this is my first time actually getting into the field of psychology and working with the brain and the mind again. Those classes are coming in handy. It's like, it's been over almost 20 years since I was over there in the master's program. But a lot of this is recalling memory because I'm actually seeing it now. We pick up some of those kids at 5:45 in the morning. They ride with us 35 to 40 minutes. That's a long time. That's almost the same amount of time you're going to get in the doctor's office. But we're just going to have to pray for this generation. And they already have no patience whatsoever. There is no patience among them. The stress level is very, very high. They cannot take too much. You got to talk to them very slow and say what you got to say real quick. Because you can't sit there and talk to them like kids in days gone by. Attention span ain't that long. Get out what you gonna say and move on. Because the next one finna cut up behind you. Ms. Baker, teenagers today pass for adults the way they look. These girls, a size 10, like me, a 45-year-old, they got a more womanly figure than me. They're developing very early. Very, very early. I have elementary kids that need bras on. Elementary. I ain't need a bra until I was 8th grade. You know, I'm a training bra then. I don't know why they are developing so early. I guess because of social media and TV. They see it on there and they think that's the way it's supposed to be. No parent is telling them any different. So if you can leave out the house with it on, mama don't care. And that's how you get involved with those older men. Some of them really don't know how old these kids are. They look like they mature women. Yeah. So I'm not going to stay on here very long today because I want to take a nap before I go back. I don't want to be sleep deprived down there trying to work with kids like that. But I did want to come out here and talk to y'all for a little while about Mr. M and ask y'all, please pray for this child for me. Keep him in your prayers. God will know who you're talking about when I say Mr. M. I have to not say his name to protect him. But this child he's right on the edge, y'all. I kid you not. When I saw him coming out this morning fighting with his grandmother, it broke my heart. Because deep down inside, I knew he was out of character for him. He's normally not like that. His grandmother was actually scared. She's a little bitty woman. He's not a big kid, but he's a strong kid. And he doesn't challenge me yet. but I know it's coming because whoever these demons are talking to him in his head, they're getting worse every day to the point now where he's talking to them more and more, and he's begging them to leave him alone. And he also told me this morning, he said, I had a nightmare last night. I didn't dare ask him what the nightmare was. A nightmare is a nightmare, okay? It ain't good. So I'm gonna come back later on tonight. We'll come back at my regular scheduled time, but I'm gonna get up, clean up, and lay down and take me at least an hour's nap before they come back on in the evening. I won't have him again until tomorrow. But those were my challenges this morning. Some days are good days, some days are just not so good. And he took the life out of me this morning. Ms.V, for you. Thank you, Myra. I appreciate that. Hearts and prayers. And for the bus driver, yeah, because she's been at this a long time, almost 28 years. And she says this is the worst she's ever seen. What she has now is the worst she's ever seen in the 28 years she's been driving. So y'all hit like, share, and subscribe, please. I appreciate y'all coming in. Myra says for the child, okay, I appreciate that. Child needs a priest exorcism. Yeah, but that would be very hard, even to tell somebody that. Yeah, we know that's what he needs. At this point, I just want the mother to know that what his behavior is, and to see if she can get him into the doctor this week, because he's gonna be home all next week. I don't know if she's coming into town. I don't know if he's just gonna be there with the grandmother, but he's killing that grandmother softly. If you could just seen her this morning, you would have just bust out crying and probably did the same thing I did. Ran for the door because he's after her. I don't know if he thinks that the grandmother is the demon that he's talking to. I don't know. But that's what the bus driver and I were discussing this morning. It's like, what if he thinks that we are that demon at some point? And it may happen. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Why this mom so disconnected? Where's she? I don't know, Miss Baker. All I know is she's out of town. And when I call her cell phone, she always says, I'll take care of it. I'm out of town working. That's all I know. Where she's working, what she does, I don't know. So I'll follow up tonight and let y'all know how the conversation went, and hopefully we can give Mr. M some help. Y'all take care until we meet again tonight. Much love to you, and thanks for coming in and chatting with me this morning. Bye-bye. Oh, I was told not to say bye-bye, so until later.